Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskrityam
Narayanam Namaskrityam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Cheva Eva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devi Saraswatim Vyasam
Tadho Jayamudhiraye
Yadujayam Dhirayet
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Sloke
Bhagavati Uttam Sloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtigim.
Bhakti Bhavati Nesting Speaking.
We are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8 Canto, chapter 2, verse number 18. So we were covering last few weeks, 17 and the other previous verses. Today we will be covering the verse number 18 of 8 Canto, second chapter. This chapter is titled as The Remembrance of the Supreme Lord. So we are in the week of pretty much that we celebrated the appearance of the Supreme Lord on Wednesday as Janmashtami, Janma Ashtami, appearance day of Lord Manifest. Similarly, Uddhava is remembering the Lord. So throughout we can see in this chapter, Uddhava, how deeply, how painfully, sadly remembering the Lord. And with that ecstasy, as soon as Uddhava remembers the Lord, the ecstatic symptom, the ecstasy comes to the Uddhavas. The Uddhavas could feel the ecstasy of remembering the Lord. So we will recite, if you can please repeat after me. Kova amushyangri sarojarenum
Kova Amusyadri Sarojarenum
Vismartum ishidapuman vijigran
Vismartu Mishik Puman Vijidan
Yo vispuradhru vitapena bhumir
Yo Vispurada Dhruvi Pata Pena Bhume
Bharam kridadena tiraschakara
Bharam Krutantena Tiraskara
Kova amushyangri sarojarenum
Kova Amusya Sarojarenum
Vismartum nishidapuman vijigran
Vismartu Mishik Puman Vijidana
Yo vispuradhu bhruvidapena bhumir
Yo Vispurada Dhru Vitapena Bhume
Bharam kridantena tiraschakara
Bharam Krutantena Tiraskara
Kova amushyangri sarojarenu
Kova Amusya Angri Sarojarenu
Vismartumishidapuman vijighranan
Vismartu Mishita Puman Vijirdana
Yo vispuradhru vitapena bhumir
Yo Vispurat Dhru Vitapena Bhume
Bharam kridantena tiraschakara
Bharam Krutantena Tiraschakara
Synonyms: Ka, who else, Va, either, Amushya, the Lord's angry feet. Saroja Renum, dust of the lotus. Vismartum, to forget. Ishida may be able. Puman, person. Vijinkra, smelling. Ya, one who. Visphura, expanding. Bhru Vitapena, by the leaves of the eyebrows. Bhume, of the earth. Bharam, burden. Krida Antena, by death blows. Tirashchakara, executed. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Translation, please repeat after me. Who, after smelling the dust of his lotus feet,
Whom after smelling the dust of his lotus feet,
even once, could ever forget it,
could ever forget it,
simply by expanding the leaves of his eyebrows,
simply by expanding the leaves of his eyebrows,
Krishna has given the death blow to
Krishna has given the death blow to
those who were burdening the earth.
Those who are burdening the earth.
Purpose. Lord Krishna cannot be accepted as one of the human beings, even though he played the role of an obedient son. His actions were so extraordinary that by the simple raising of his eyebrows, he could deliver death blows to those who were burdening the earth. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananchana Chakshurunmilidam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manopishtam Stabidam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Maiham Dadadhi Supadantigam Vandeham Sri Gurum Sri Udapadagammalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunatha Nidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahidam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalidam Sri Vishakhanidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dhinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namostude Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sude Devi Pranavami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarupasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Padidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Harihi Om Tat Sat Kayena Vacha Manasendriyarva Buddhyatmana Va Prakriti Swabhavat Karomi Yadgal Sagalam Parasmai Narayanayedi Samarpayami. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you again for joining this very auspicious day of Ekadashi, which came immediately after the Janmashtami. It's more auspicious. So we were going through these verses, Uddhava remembering the Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So as it's mentioned that, dear devotees, that's also our main business as a human being. We should always remember the Supreme Lord. The remembrance happens when we hear about the Supreme Lord. So when we hear, it purifies our heart. Then we can remember the Lord more and more. So it's very important we hear the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So here we were, in the last week, we were going through the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna and Balaram, after killing Kamsa, came to the jail to see Mother Devaki and Vasudev. Uddhava was remembering all this. Even though Krishna could kill just by his eyebrows the Kamsa and everybody, whoever is, guarding the jail, and Krishna could even free Krishna's, the parents, Mother Devaki and Vasudev, immediately can release just by, thought of it, because he has such a power, because everything is arranged by, everything is the source, controlled by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That's why Krishna is known as Ishvara. Ishvara Parama Krishna. Ishvara means controller. So who is the Supreme Controller? Supreme Controller is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna. So that Krishna could easily do all this. Does not need to, wait for it and go, hide from Kamsa. Uddhava was remembering all this. Krishna was hiding from Kamsa. Why? Then that is why Uddhava was remembering that those all bewildering me, those all give me more pain, bewildering me. But as we know that this is all happening as a Leela of Supreme Lord Sri Krishna. So Krishna wanted to give such a pleasure to Mother Yashoda and Nanda Baba. And I explained that we were there in the previous lives and how Nanda Baba and Yashoda Maya were worshipping the Supreme Lord to Krishna to come as their son. So this time Krishna fulfilled that desire. Also at the same time in the Madhura, and Krishna appeared as the son of Mother Devaki and Vasudev. They were Sutapa and Krishnagarbha in their previous life. They were also worshipping the Supreme Lord Krishna to get Krishna as their child. So at the same time, Krishna also wanted to fulfill the desires of his devotees in Vrindavan and Gokul. They were all eagerly, the devotion which they exhibited, which they executed to the Supreme Lord couldn't resist himself to come down earth to personally associate and fulfill the desires of all such devotees. And at the same time, here is also, there is a Leela, which we know that the 6 sons of Mother Devaki been killed by Kamsa. So these 6 sons were the sons of Mariji. Mariji was, they were in the heavenly planets. So they cursed by a sage, and they became the demons. They became the demons. And they were, again, the Kamsa was in his previous life known as Kalanemi. Kalanemi was a demon who killed by Krishna. Vishnu is killed. So Kalanemi had naturally that enmity towards Vishnu, like Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. They had enmity when Vishnu killed Hiranyaksha. Hiranyakashipu had such an enmity to the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Lord. Similarly, Kalanemi also killed by the Supreme Lord. Then he also appeared as Kamsa. So naturally, he had that enmity towards the Supreme Lord. So because of that, then the 6 sons of Mariji. So this is very important to understand how the living entities transfer or traveling from journey from one body to another. So actually the living entities are eternal. They don't die. They just take the bodies, different bodies of, sometimes the living entity takes the bodies of animal. Sometimes living entities takes the bodies of asuras, the demon. Sometimes the living entities takes the bodies of demigods. Sometimes Gandharvas. From all these 14 planetary systems, as it says that Krishna says to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, Brahma bhuvanir logir punaravartino Arjuna, mam vedatu kaundeya punarjanmana vidyade. Krishna is telling to Arjuna that Brahma bhuvanir logir punaravartino Arjuna. Brahma bhuvanir logir, from the Brahma of the planets of Brahma, Brahma bhuvanir logir, to the Patala Loka, Brahma Bhuvanir Lokir Punaravartino Arjuna. Punaravartino. That means there is a repeated birth and death again and again after the one passes his body. So after one passes his body, he has to take another body. As Krishna says in the second chapter, 10th verse, that one who takes birth, sure to die, and one who had death, died, sure has to take a birth again. So this is Punaravartina. Samsara chakra, that is known as chakra. Samsara chakra is repeats again and again. This birth and death repeats again and again for every living entity. So it's very, very important that to understand how the soul is journeying, traveling from one life to another. How? Because of either the offenses, second is actually the sinful activities, and the consciousness we develop at this lifetime. And whenever, especially on the human form of life, the consciousness we develop, our next life is deciding as per the consciousness we have. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejjande kalevaram tam tam evadi kaundeya yadi natra atra samshayaha. Krishna says that Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam. Whatever the consciousness you have at the time of death, Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tejjande kalevaram. At the time of death, whatever the consciousness you have, tam tam evadi kaundeya, that's what is you are going to become. Tam tam evadi kaundeya yadi natra asamshayaha. There is no doubt into that. And also Krishna says that andakaleja mameva smaran mutta kalevaram. Andakaleja, at the time of death, one who remembers me, one who conscious of me. Andakaleja mameva smaran mutta kalevaram. Sa yedisa madbhavam. One who conscious of me, remembers me at the time of death, he will attain my abode, my form. Sa yedisa madbhavam sada tadbhavam agadaha. Then he will always attain that, the form that Krishna, attain Krishna. Sada sadbhava magadaha. So we develop these kinds of consciousness in the human body or in the higher, conscious or the heavenly bodies. What happens? We know that throughout our scriptures, many Gandharvas are cursed by the sages because of they do the mischievous activities. We know that in the Krishna Leela, Nalakuvera and Manigriva. When Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were enjoying in such a way that in the heavenly planets, they drink like anything. They were enjoying with the Apsaras. They were completely naked in the lakes of, heavenly planets. There they were completely forgot themselves. They were intoxicated. Even when the sage Narada came nearby, even the ladies, they were completely naked. They tried to cover themselves and they got little, ashamed. And but these Gandharvas, the sons of Gandharvas, that's Nalakuvera and Manigriva, they were not even bothered about that the sages came there and didn't even have a little bit of, shame that they were doing all this. So Narada, they cursed them because of that forgetfulness, because of that, completely intoxicated and completely forget their identity, completely forgot their constitutional position. So especially on the bodies of Gandharvas, they should have more conscious of the Supreme Lord, but they behave differently. They behave opposite. So they behave like, completely intoxicated, completely forgotten their purpose of the life. So like that, when people forgot their purpose of life, when they forgot, they intoxicated, when they are completely engaged in this material activities and always, and I was hearing there is a nearby, I have a house. So almost they moved newly to this place. And then now they started almost every Saturday evening, they have big tents and the parties and this music and the dance and the drinking and all over this, we could hear it. Even they don't want even to stop by 1 a.m., 2 a.m. like that. So I remembered what kind of mentality is this. This is called the demoniac mentality. This is called Asurik Bhav. Asurik Bhav, that means just enjoy their purpose. They forget completely. They completely lost their consciousness. And they just only the only the consciousness they have somehow to enjoy all this, enjoy with this life. So this is demoniac. So then Narada Dev cursed them, and now when Narada Dev cursed them, and now they realized their mistake. So they are going to become Narada cursed to be there in the form of a tree because of you are misusing your freedom. You are misusing your freedom. When you misuse your freedom, then the better way so that it won't create, annoying to the other living entities. It does not create problems to the other living entities. You are forcing all these women to come, and so that, they all enjoy together, and you're also polluting others. So Nardev cursed this Nala Kubera and Manigriva, the Yamalarjan, the sons of Kubera, and you be there, a tree in the earthly planet. So now they realized, now they came to their consciousness, now they realize that they are going to become a tree. So what happened? They begged to the Narada Dev that please relieve us, please save us from this curse. So Narada said, the curse I already cursed, but I'll give you blessings that after millions of time, that the Supreme Lord himself comes to deliver you. So that's why it's always says that the curse, even a chastisement of a devotee is always blessing. And even the moments of association of a devotee is always blessing. Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Shastra Kai, Levamatra Sadhu Sangha, Sarva Siddhi Ho. Even a little bit of association of a saintly person is also beneficial. So here, Nalakubir and Manigriva, they were completely intoxicated. And because of that forgetfulness, but the mercy of Srila Narada Dev, the association of the Narada Dev made, even though millions after that they could attain the Supreme Lord, they could see the Supreme Lord, and they got liberation. Why? The Narada Dev, the mercy of Narada Dev told to this Nalakuvera Manigriva, in this Dwapara Yuga, a millennium after, then the Krishna will appear on this earthly planet, and you will become the trees on the courtyard of Nanda Baba. There Krishna will play and Krishna come, and just by the touch of Krishna, you will be freed from this form of trees. And that's what we could see that dear devotees when Krishna was in Gokul, and Mother Yashoda tied Krishna to the mortar. And when Mother Yashoda tied Krishna to the mortar, and Krishna saw these two personalities were standing there. So also Acharya says that Krishna always fulfilled the words of his devotees. Krishna never neglect or avoid. So when Narada Dev said that Krishna would come, or Krishna will come and deliver you, then Krishna saw this, Krishna understood. Narada Dev is pure devotee of Krishna. So the words of the devotees also Krishna never, neglect, always fulfill. So now Krishna had to come down to the earth because of Narada Dev said that. Because of Narada Dev said that, the Krishna had to come also. This is the another reason for appearance of Krishna on this planet, because he has to fulfill the words and the desires of his devotees. So Narada desires was Krishna would come and deliver this, the sons of, Kubera, Nalakubera and Manigriva. So that's where we know that all this wonderful Leela, Damodar Leela, Mother Yashoda bound Krishna to a mortar. So now Krishna saw that two personalities standing there, and Krishna was just smiled at it. So now Krishna just dragged this mortar. Krishna just dragged this mortar, and in between these two trees, all Krishna did in a little baby form. We know that it's not even, so old. Little baby form. And he scrolled this mortar. In those days, olden days, the mortar is little big. It's not like a small one. It's a very big mortar. And also people were also not like small, like they were also quite big. It's mentioned that in the scripture, Mother Yashoda was very, heavy, very, very heavy like that. So Krishna then pulled this mortar in between those trees. As soon as Krishna's touch, these gigantic trees, these were there for thousands of years. We know that if you go to Vrindavan, you can see that. The trees were there. Some trees are very gigantic. It's been there for thousands of years, especially Kadamba trees and all. So Krishna, just by the touch of this mortar, then immediately this gigantic tree fall down with a great sound. And then all the Krishna's friends who were there, they were all, looking at this Krishna's Leela. And they were, when Krishna bound, all the friends came around and they were laughing at him. Look at this poor guy. We were all free. We were all, living there. We were all enjoying. We were playing. Look at you, Krishna. Look at you, Krishna. Your mother bound you. They were came and teasing Krishna. And this was the mood Krishna was lovingly, seeing, and Krishna was reciprocating all this. And Krishna was also smiling inside. Then, the others doesn't understand why I'm tired to hear, because it's all my Leela. So then only this would happen. Then only these two sons and Nalaguvera could deliver. And this all happens as per the wish of Krishna. So then gigantic tree fall down. And now this also boy saw that. And now two very handsome personalities manifested from the trees and came around, and they took their original form of Gandharva. Usually Gandharvas are mentioned that very beautiful. They are the celestial singers, and they have such a potency that they sing very beautifully, and they sing for the devatas, heavenly beings. And they came, these very handsome, beautiful personalities manifested, and they folded their hands to Krishna, and they beg for forgiveness. There is a beautiful section in Srimad Bhagavatam, praise of this, the Nalakuvera and Manigriva. And then they circumambulated the Supreme Lord, and Supreme Lord blessed them. Why Supreme Lord blessed them? Acharyas mentioned that they didn't do much devotion. They didn't do much of things, but Supreme Lord blessed them. Supreme Lord gave blessings to this to Manigriva and Nalakuvera. Why? Because of they had the association of the devotee of Sri Naradadev. Naradadev mentioned that you will meet with the Krishna. So here Krishna wanted to give that words of Narada to be fulfilled. And when the devotee is instructed, when these two, Gandharvas were ordered by Narada to come down, so Krishna was not seeing them. Krishna was actually seeing the words of Naradadev. Krishna was seeing the devotion of Naradadev. In order to fulfill that devotion of Naradadev, Krishna blessed them. See that the difference. So this is very important. When we are happy with the devotees, when we are blessed with the devotees, even though we are not so devoted to Krishna, but Krishna would bless these devotees. That's why Krishna says that I am so pleased with the devotees of the devotees of the devotees of the Lord, not that one who directly serves me. Not only that, I would be more happier, I would be more pleased with the devotees who serve the devotees of the devotees of the devotees of the Lord. So this all gives us such a wonderful examples, wonderful knowledge to us that how a devotee should take this all. So the reason I mentioned that the traveling, the journey of a soul is very, very important. So we know that by the curse, that this even though they were in the Gandharva Loka, they appeared on the planet Earth as the trees. So like that, this Marichi, they had 6 sons. Mariji had then 6 sons. They were also kissed by the sage, it's like Angiras, sage, and because of their mischievous act, because they forgot the identity, they forgot the personality. Actually, the reason was they forgot to respect the Brahmadev. They forgot to respect the Brahmadev. When they forgot to respect the Brahmadev, they laughed at the Brahmadev and saw these Angiras and cursed them to be there on the earthly planet. But they, because of this mischievous act, they became the demons. They became in the clan of Kalanemi, the Kamsa. So then on the next lifetime, then the Kalanemi was killed by the Supreme Lord, and the Kalanemi became Kamsa. Then Kamsa also then came to, it was also, mentioned that these 6 sons also became the asuras in the clan. They were supposed to be killed by the Kalanemi. And so that Kalanemi became Kamsa, and they should be also supposed to kill by Kamsa. That's why they also appeared in the womb of Mother Devaki. So the reason it is mentioned that the Marichi was born out of Brahma. Marichi was born out of the mind of the Brahmadev. So we know that just before Swayambhuva Manu and Shadarupa, before that, the many sons were manifested from the different parts of the body of Brahma. So like that, so from the mind, the Marichi manifested. So it is mentioned that when the Marichi manifested, also Marichi then married to Atri, the daughter of Swayambhuva Manu later. Then they had a son. They had 6 sons. So it is mentioned that when the mind created this, from the mind, Marichi was created by the mind. Then that mind, that Marichi was then again had sons of 6. They were none other than the Kama, Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Madha, and Malsariya. These were the 6 sons of Marichi. Where is come from? From the mind. So dear devotees, it's a very important lesson that we should understand this. So our Kama, our Krodha, Moha, Lobha, Madha, and Malsariya. Kama means lust, and the incessant lust. Kama, Krodha means anger. Moha means this illusion, and Lobha means very miserly. Madha means arrogance, and Malsariya, the competition, right? All these enviousness, all this arrogance, all this Malsariya means envy. The out of envy that this competition happens. So the enviousness, arrogance, illusion, the Krodha, the Kama. So these are all generated by our mind. So like that, Marichi, the sons of Marichi, the mind, Marichi itself is the born out of mind. From that mind, from that Marichi, the 6 sons manifested. That means they were born out of the minds. So these are the byproducts of the mind. They were the sons of mind. So it's very important that we understand this fact. So then it has to, because of the mischievous act of this mind, mischievous act of this mind in the form of lust, mischievous act of in the form of krodha, anger, mischievous act of this illusion, moha, right, lobha, this miserliness, all these things, right? Then what happens is the byproduct of the mind, then which is killed by Kamsa, it is asuric. So it is very asuric and it has to be killed first. Before Krishna appears in our mind, before Krishna appears in our heart, so it has to be killed. So who can kill all these demoniac qualities? The demons, right? The demons kills. Because of these are all demoniac qualities, it has to be killed. So it was supposed to killed by, this is the allegorical fact of this, but these were the sons of Mother Devaki, the 6 sons just before Krishna appears. Then Kamsa killed all of them. Then Balaram appeared, Adi Guru, in order to teach, in order to create everything, in order to arrange everything for Krishna, in order to also give the transcendental knowledge. So Balaram appeared before Krishna. That's why it is mentioned that before we attain Krishna, the Balaram appears in the form of a guru, spiritual master. So Balaram appeared in the form of a spiritual master. So before we can attain Krishna, so we will have in the form of guru in our life. Somebody comes in the form of guru in our life. So by the instructions of the mercy of that guru, one can attain Krishna. Then only Krishna comes. So we were celebrating Janmashtami last week. So we were going through this. So the appearance of Krishna means appearance of Krishna in our heart. So who can have that? Only by the mercy of the devotees, one can have Krishna. By the mercy of devotees, one gets Krishna, right? Or by the mercy of Krishna, also one gets a devotee. So this is interrelated. So here we can see that just before appearing Krishna, then the 6 sons were appeared and they've been killed by it. So it has to be killed. That means all our anarthas has to be killed. Then Guru appears in our life, then Guru appears, then who comes by the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna. So the reason I was mentioning this, the life journey of that each living entity goes from one body to another. But when we come to this position of understanding and realizing the Supreme Lord, dear devotees, that is the perfection of our life, nothing else. That's the perfection. That's why we are journeying this life after life after life after life after life. Then what happened for these six sons? When Krishna and Balaram came to the, in the jail of Madhura, there Uddhava was remembering this, and Krishna was begging forgiveness from Mother Devaki and Vasudev. Krishna was begging forgiveness that not to have an opportunity to serve personally. And Krishna was purposefully saying this because Krishna could do that. Krishna could do that. But Krishna has different plan for this. This is all past time. Krishna had different plan for this. So that the atrocities of the Kamsa would go and go. That's a point of time, then Krishna can kill Kamsa. And all this, bound to happen. This is called Leela. When the Leela happens, there is no question that why it happened like this. This is Krishna's Leela, Krishna's desires to fulfill the desires of his devotees. And then Krishna, performed the Leela accordingly. So then Krishna came and begged forgiveness from Vasudeva and Devaki. And then Krishna released both of them and came, and even Ugrasena came out. Everybody was jailed and chained in the prison house. They were very jubilant. And the first thing, Devaki was very much lamenting for their six sons, six child. So Devaki requested Krishna, can you bring? And Mother Devaki could see that Krishna is not an ordinary person. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then that's why also another reason Krishna moved to the Mother Yashoda, because of Mother Yashoda was showering this motherly love to Krishna. Krishna also wanted to relish that. Here Mother Devaki understood that Krishna is not an ordinary personality. Mother Devaki requested to Krishna, can you please bring back my sons? Kamsa killed them. So we know that what Mother Devaki was speaking and ordering to Krishna or requesting to Krishna that bring back those dead child. We know that the Mother Devaki's position and requesting to Krishna. So Krishna immediately took that order, that instruction, and that request. Krishna just went into the heaven, the Patala Loka, the hellish planets, because they were asuras. Asuras means asuric mentality. They were born out of all these anarthas, in the form of, asuras. So they went to the hellish planets. Krishna went there. Krishna went there and brought back these six sons of Devaki. And they came in the form of babies, little babies. So Krishna brought them back from the, hellish planets and brought before Mother Devaki. Now Mother Devaki we know that Mother Devaki just saw just a glance for them. Immediately these child who were born, Vasudeva just snatched these babies from that, floor itself, and is delivered in the floor itself. Mother Devi had just a glance upon them, and Vasudeva then take these babies and bring back to the Kamsa. Kamsa immediately threw it and killed them. So when Krishna brought back, Mother Devaki was so happy and crying like nothing, and seeing the old child. And every mother will have that feeling. So here Mother Devaki was seeing those children, six children together, and Mother Devaki had then, had that motherly affection, the Valsalya, the motherly affection. And then the breast milk was started to flow. And then Mother Devaki fed this breast milk to all these six children. And it is mentioned that in the scriptures in Bhagavatam that as soon as when Krishna touched this sixth child, as soon as Krishna brought back this child, they were completely liberated. And immediately after that, Mother Devaki breastfed them. And then they all had this liberated, and they all ascended to the Vaikuntha planets just by the mercy of Krishna. Dear devotees, see this one. So just by some way or other, we have this opportunity to connect. to relate, either in the form of holy name, either in the form of remembering and bringing Krishna in our heart and in our mind. That means we are associating with Krishna. Some way or other, we honor the prasadam and whatever the paraphernalia, we offer the oblations and we offer the prayers to the Supreme. This is all what is happens, what is gives that our relationship with the Krishna. When we relate with Krishna, then Krishna will take care of all of the devotees, those who are in relationship with Krishna, some way or other. That's why directly or indirectly, knowingly or unknowingly, for someone else, if we take up the names of Krishna or the service of Krishna just by, just for someone else, if we do it, the lots of benefits, and one can attain the liberation. One can go back to Godhead Krishna. So the reason I was mentioning that our purpose of the life, that we all passes from one life to another, one life to another, one life to another, life after life after life after. But the purpose is to come to understand the Supreme Lord. So when we have this mercy, then only we can come to closer, come and hear and listen the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. Then our life is become so successful. So here, Uddhava was remembering the Supreme Lord's activities like this. And it says that one who, after smelling the dust of his lotus feet even once, dust of the lotus feet even once, could ever forget it. You know that Uddhava was remembering that Krishna came to the jail of Vasudeva and Krishna begged forgiveness. And see that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As a son, Krishna was now acting as their son, the Vasudeva and Devaki. The duty of a son is to protect their parents all the time, no matter what. They should protect theirs because of the children are so much indebted to their parents. So it's the duty of a son to protect their parents all the time. So here Krishna was begging forgiveness because of all this time Krishna hid himself, or it's hidden from Kamsa. And as it says that the fear of Kamsa hid himself, but it's not the fear of. Krishna has to eradicate the burden of this planet Earth. That's the reason also Krishna Paritranaya sadhuna vinashaya cha dushkridam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Krishna manifests in order to save the pious and to annihilate the miscreants. So here Uddhava was remembering this. So Uddhava was saying this, that who could forget even one who smells the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna even once? That's why, dear devotees, this is also another meaning of this one. Even once in our lifetime, if we taken the holy name, even we chanted once, if we remembered Krishna, then that remembrance will be always there. That is eternal. That remembrance will be always there. So anything that which is in relationship with Krishna, dear devotees, that is eternal. That is in our account. Eternally, it will be that in our account. That gives again further strength. Even that gives further potency, that the name of Krishna, the remembrance of Krishna, anything that which is in relation with us has such a potency that can take us back to Krishna. So we know that when Akrura came to Vrindavan, so Kamsa ordered to Akrura, bring Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So that Kamsa had a plan. It's a plan that there is a wrestling. There is a wrestling there. That wrestling, then Kamsa could kill Krishna. Kamsa thought that even though, yes, this may be, and Krishna is so powerful, Kamsa understood. Krishna raised the Govardhan. Krishna killed most of the demons of Kamsa. And Kamsa still had this, plan that somehow, and this ministers misguided Kamsa and told them that our, wrestlers are so powerful. They are like 10,000 elephant strength. They all had, each one of them had. And then if we bring Krishna to this, somehow or other, if we bring Krishna and Krishna over here, then no matter what, we will kill them. So Kamsa, thought this, this is a good plan. So then Kamsa ordered Akrura, go and bring Krishna, because Akrura was now related to Nanda Baba, and also Vasudev. So Kamsa knew this. So when Kamsa ordered Akrura, go to Vrindavan and bring Krishna, and Kamsa knew that somehow Akrura will bring. And Akrura, but thinking on the other way, that how I can save, Krishna. How I can save Krishna, even though everybody knows that Krishna is appeared as the form of Lord. But as we know that Krishna always plays a role of in the past times, and Maya Devi and Yoga Maya always also play in order to execute these pastimes, beautiful pastimes. Then Yoga Maya intervene in every cases. Yoga Maya makes all these people forget, sometimes remembers. Even we know that Mother Yashoda saw this universal form. For a moment, Mother Yashoda could see that even Krishna, is manifestation of this entire, the Supreme Lord. But the next moment, Mother Yashoda is forgot. Who is actually playing this? The Yoga Maya potency of the Supreme, or internal potency of the Supreme Lord, plays this role like this. So even though Akrura have this confidence that somehow or other, but also was very fearful. What would happen? This little child, Krishna, that time was just 14 years old, just 14 years old. And then that's the time, the Pauganda age, that Krishna came to Mathura. No, not 14, 11 years old. That's the time Krishna came to Mathura, the age of Pauganda. So then Akrura thinking, and Kamsa ordered to Akrura, bring Krishna to Mathura. So Akrura came and just entered into the boundary of Vraj. And Akrura saw the footsteps of Krishna on the dust of Vrindavan. If you go to Vrindavan, it's full of dusty place, dust, everywhere. It's very soft. Why it is became soft? Because of Krishna was there. So Krishna was moving from one place to another. Even the planet Earth, Mother Earth, decided that Krishna's lotus feet should not hurt by any of this. So the soft is, the sand is very soft, very soft. That there is a place called Ramandeti. Ramandeti, if you go to Vrindavan, there's a place. It's so soft in such a way that Krishna and Balaram would go there and roll in that sand. But nowadays, even when devotees goes there, they roll in their sand in the remembrance of when Krishna played that place. So devotees takes that opportunity, go and see and each place of the where Krishna's, even entire Vrindavan, Krishna is walked across and walked through his friends and the gopis and the cows. So even people says that, okay, devotees goes to Vrindavan, bring back some dust of Vrindavan. What they do? They take that dust, they taste it, somebody eat that dust, somebody put on their head, somebody take bath in that dust. Even devotees goes there in this place, especially the Ramandeti, there is a place where devotees go and roll on the ground, roll on the dust of the Vrindavan. Even when I went there, I did that too. It's so nice to be there. It's so soft like that. So even Mother Earth was decided when Krishna is there, everything should be Krishna's, lotus feet should not be hurt. So when Akruraji came to Vrindavan, saw this, that Krishna's lotus feet and all these very auspicious marks there on the soul, on the lotus feet of Krishna, and the soul of the lotus feet of Krishna. There are Shanga, there are conch shell, there is, different lotuses were there. So it likes that there are 26, more than that, 26, different auspicious marks and the symbols are there on the lotus feet of Krishna. Akrura just fall flat and prostrated obeisance to the lotus mark of the lotus feet of Krishna, and had tremendous ecstasy, tremendous feeling and ecstasy of Krishna, seeing that. So this is what you see, Uddhava is remembering. Even one who sees, one who taken the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna, they will never forget Krishna then. How could he forget? So this is the potency of the dust of lotus feet of the Krishna. So here could see that. Then Akruraji then paid obeisances and circumambulated this lotus feet, the marks of the lotus feet of Krishna 3 times. Circumambulated. And then what? Then proceeded. And when Akruraji saw Krishna, Akruraji couldn't control his ecstasy, fall flat at Krishna. And Krishna was then became like an ordinary child. Little ordinary child, that very innocent child, as if he does not know anything. Mama, uncle, So Krishna was calling Akruraji, uncle, mama, how are you? How was, how was your journey? Why did you come? What is the purpose? So Akruraji didn't talk anything. Then he came and take some rest. And then later in the night, discussed all this. And then Akruraji brought, we went through that in a very detail, those pastimes. Akruraji brought Krishna and Balaram. And then we know that when Akruraji saw, and you're so afraid, so fearful, how can I face this little child? How this Kamsa can take them into the wrestling? Chanura and Mushtiga is so ferocious and so huge, gigantic, very powerful. And facing off this little child, Krishna and Balaram. So Akruraji had this doubt in his mind. He was fearful. So came to the border of, Vrindavan and Madhura. There is a pond, there was a lake there. And Akruraji, it was in the evening time. Akruraji said, it is evening time. I have to take bath evening and my Sandhya Vandana is there. So you guys, you little Krishna and Balaram, you sit here. Let me go and take bath and do my Sandhya Vandana. So Akruraji went and dipped into the lake there. So when Akruraji went inside the water and gone down, and then Akruraji could see that the beautiful recliner, beautiful Ananda Shesh, and on that beautiful Ananda Shesh, Krishna is lying down under this water. Akruraji couldn't believe. Akruraji was astonished, bewildered, and came out immediately. And then looked at the chariot, and Krishna was sitting there smilingly. Now Akruraji dipped again inside the water and went down and saw the same scene. Krishna is lying down on the recliner of Ananda Shesh and playing his flute right there at in the bottom of the water, bottom of that lake. Akruraji came up again and saw and looked at the chariot and saw that there is a beautiful Krishna is smiling and sitting there. Now Akruraji was praying and went down again and praying to the Supreme Lord and came back so peacefully, so peacefully. And when Akruraji came to the chariot and Krishna asked Akruraji, did you see anything? Akruraji was just smiling. Now Akruraji completely understood that this is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now Akruraji was very peacefully riding the chariot to the Madhura. So dear devotees, Krishna could do anything Krishna, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even just by the eyebrow, just by leaves of his, his eyebrows, expanding, as Uddhava says, expanding the leaves of his eyebrows, Krishna has even the death blows to those who are burdening the earth. They just can kill Krishna. We know that when these, Chanur and Mushtiga, when Krishna and came, all Krishna did is actually just had a strong, fist and strong, blow to the chest of this Chanura. And then Chanura fall down, vomiting blood. Like that, the Mushtiga, the Balaram. And even though they were very little, little child, 11-year-old, how you can imagine that, how old, 11-year-old, how big they would be. It's like a very, like a child when go to like 6th grade in our school, right? The 6th grader. A 6th grader and Chanura and Mushtiga were so huge. But just by the touch of Krishna, that Chanura is completely dead. So as we know that when this Pralambasura came, when Pralambasura became disguised as one of the cowherd boys as their friends. Then Krishna saw that this is Asura, this Pralambasura. Then in the disguise of Balaram, Krishna told to Balaram, Balaram also understood. Balaram then took us, this Pralambasura became one of the sides of the Krishna and Balaram, an opposite party of it. So Krishna's party, the other party, opposite team defeated Krishna's team. So now Krishna's team has to take the other opposite team members. So Pralambasura been in other team. So then Balaram had to take Pralambasura on his shoulder. So then what happened? Pralambasura, when Balaram took Pralambasura on his shoulder, Pralambasura said, okay, Balaram, go here. So Pralambasura wanted to drag away Balaram from Krishna. So then immediately when he's come to the secluded place, Pralambasura became so huge, so huge like a sky. He told, he groaned to touch the sky, and Balaram couldn't believe that, so huge, so ferocious. So Balaram could understand this is an asura, Pralambasura. Balaram took a just hit on the chest of the Pralambasura. Pralambasura just fall down, vomiting blood and dead, just by the, just the one fist of, push. So this is what is Krishna and Balaram devotees. They could do, by the eyebrows they could do, and they could do everything. But as Uddhava is remembering that the pastimes of the Lord, that Krishna and Balaram, they wanted to fulfill and reciprocate with his devotees in such a way that so Krishna and Balaram would play that pastimes in so many wonderful ways. And the main reason Krishna has mentioned that Paritranaya Sadhuna, in order to deliver the pious, in order to fulfill the desires of the pious, in order to fulfill the desires of his devotees, Krishna manifests and their devotees. This is our greatest lessons today, that even that somehow or other we have in relationship with Krishna in the form of holy name. If we are chanting the holy name, Krishna is there. We are associating with Krishna. Then Krishna would manifest in the heart. And as initially, when before Krishna was taking birth, Krishna manifested in the heart of Vasudeva. Krishna, before manifesting, Krishna manifested in the heart of Vasudeva, when then transferred to the heart of Devaki. When Krishna was there in the heart of Mother Devaki, we know that Mother Devaki was glowing like anything. The face Kamsa couldn't even believe that. When Kamsa went into the jail to see Mother Devaki and understood that this Mother Devaki was carrying, and when went there, and this is the time Kamsa couldn't even believe that the glow, the light, the ray comes out from the Mother Devaki, and Kamsa couldn't believe. And Kamsa that time also realized that something very auspicious is going to happen. Something is that, very special is going to happen. And Kamsa was even thinking, just by even the seeing that, Kamsa's mind is also a little changed. Now Kamsa came to see that Kamsa was ready to kill even Vasudeva and Devaki. And now Kamsa was seeing some kinds of different symptoms, the very auspicious symptoms in the Mother Devaki. But Kamsa's heart even changed. This all by the mercy of Krishna. Then what happened? Kamsa was thinking that who could actually stop the play of the Kala, or the Kala Shakti? Nobody can. So now Mother Devaki is carrying. She's a woman. She's my sister. I should not harm Mother Devaki now. So everything happens accordingly. So when Krishna is there, dear devotees, as it says, Devi Yasha Gunamayi Mama Adrataya, or Mahatmanam Stumambartha Devim Pragadev. When Krishna is there, when one who devoted to Krishna, then Krishna will have very big role in that devotee's life. It's very important. Always remember this. When one who is devoted to Krishna, Krishna always play a big role in that devotee's life. So like that, Mother Devaki, now Krishna appeared in the heart of Mother Devaki. Devaki was glowing like anything. That effulgence was coming out from the body of Mother Devaki. And then Krishna, seeing this, could immediately transform even Kamsa himself. So like that, one can transform. Krishna manifests in the heart of, devotees. Then we can see the symptoms of that devotee. He would not, engage in so many other things, but always devoted to Krishna. That's why the potency, the power, the potency, even the dust of the lotus feet of, even that remembrance of the dust of the lotus feet of Krishna can transform, and that will be eternally, that will be in their heart, and they can eternally remember and eternally benefit that just by the association of the devotees and association of the holy name, hearing this holy, the transcendental activities of Krishna, the pastimes of Krishna, taking that in our consciousness and mind. Dear devotees, this is eternal. This is eternal. So Krishna would always oblige to such devotees, and Krishna would never forget that. Anybody even take a little bit in their lifetime, Krishna never forget that. Krishna would always be there with such devotees, and Krishna will provide the opportunity to such devotees to go further and then go progress in their devotional and to develop their love for Krishna more and more. That's where Krishna reciprocate. When we develop the love for Krishna, Krishna comes, Krishna reciprocate, and Krishna fulfills and interacts And then that's a loving exchange between Krishna and his devotees. The devotees is so wonderful and so beautiful that we understand this principle, this tattva. So we are so merciful, and we have this opportunity to realize and understand this Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you so much for your wonderful association, kind association on this Sunday morning. And let's pray to the Supreme that please bless us, continue to hear and continue to associate with the holy name, the pastimes of Krishna. Pastimes of Krishna is not different than Krishna. The names of Krishna is not different from Krishna. There's such a potency, even more than Nama Prabhu and this Leela. That's called Leela Purushottam. So this is all Leela of Krishna is Leela Purushottam. So all we need to is remember and absorb and take in our consciousness, in our heart. Then Krishna is so pleased with all our little endeavor. That's where Krishna comes and sits in our heart. Krishna comes and sits in his heart. That's where the real pastimes is going to happen with that devotee and Krishna. Always remember this. So thank you, dear devotees, for joining today. It's already 8:40. Hare Krishna. Indira Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yay.
Are there any comments, any questions, anything you would like to share? Please go ahead. Nothing to add?
No, Prabhuji, it was wonderful class, Prabhuji. It was very clear. Uddhava and Akrura perspective, right, Prabhuji?
Yeah, it's so wonderful that it goes through and understand the principle, the intrinsic meaning of all this and each pastimes of Krishna. Now it can apply, or it can applicable to us in such a way that we can take up in our consciousness, in our life. And that's why we are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, which purifies our.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I see so many devotees, Padmamukhi Mataji, Gauri Mataji, Susmita Mataji, Kamini Mataji is there.
Hare Krishna, Vijay, Dandavat Pranam, Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all Guru Srila Prabhupada. Jai.
Prabhuji, wonderful class actually. There's really hardly anything to say. You keep listening to it, and it's so engrossing that just the way the devotee of the God is. Sometimes I feel like they are even greater than the God because the devotee actually carries the God in their heart, Krishna in their
Yes.
heart.
Yeah.
So much that Krishna gets pulled up so much like a magnet. So devotee is so great, so much pure. So I was just listening and so much enjoying, so engrossed in the pastimes of Lord Krishna. That's it, Ravaki. Very nice class. Really enjoyed it so much.
Thank you so much. Yes, the name itself, Krishna, is so attractive. Krishna means attractive. Name itself is so attractive. Just by chanting, just by remembering, just by taking the holy name, that it attracts Krishna. It attracts Krishna. Krishna comes. Krishna personally comes to that devotee, those chanters. Take up the holy names like that. All we need to do is understanding this principle, this tattva, that who we are, and what is our purpose, what is our life meant for. Our life is meant to come to this spiritual consciousness. There's a different stage and realm there. The real purpose of the life manifests, because so far it says that scriptures reveals that everything is Krishna and everything else is Krishna's. There is only two things, Krishna and Krishna's, nothing else. So one can have that understanding and realization only when he comes to his spiritual consciousness. Otherwise, he cannot understand that. In that stage, when he comes to that spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, then he developed that intelligence, the knowledge, and the relishness, and then it's a different realm. And there, Krishna is always there in that realm with that devotee. So only Krishna is real, and Krishna's devotees are real. Krishna's paraphernalia is real. Anything that which is spiritual, everything else is temporary or imaginary or just for illusory and likes that. So for some time, just for some time, it's there, but it's not real. Only real or reality is that our spiritual identity, and that spiritual identity is meant to serve that supreme in that spiritual identity. That's only real. Everything else is just a temporary aspect of this our own, the desires.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. I also remember the example that you always gave us, about, when I was listening, I was just thinking so much that we get engrossed in the material world sometimes. But you always give an example of a swan, which
Yeah,
always takes the milk and leaves the water behind. And
yeah,
then, so I was just thinking of same thing that, we can, by being a devotee, being with the devotee association, we can also enjoy the same thing. We can also kind of just enjoy automatically. I think, Prabhuji, it happens that when you're with the devotee association, you are listening to, being with the devotee, following so many things. Automatically, we try to become to the symptoms of a swan also, that
yeah.
we don't enjoy the dirt of this material world anymore. So I was just thinking of that too. But Prabhuji, very nice class. It is so you feel so happy, joyous in your heart when you listen the pastimes of the Lord.
Of course, yes, that's what it is. Yes, it's very
Thank
true, very true. The swan, even though the milk is mixed with water, the swan has that capability to eliminate the water part and just absorb, just take the milk. How is it possible, right? It's just so. I mean, nobody can do that. I mean, can we do that when we mix this water and the milk in and put it in our mouth and eliminate the water part and only absorb the milk? So swan has that potency, that capability of that's called swan, very pure, and we should be like that. That happens only by the mercy of the Lord and His devotees in our life. So the moment we interact, mix with this material world, so we eliminate that all the material part of it. We absorb in the pastimes of Krishna, absorbs the spiritual process, absorb and engage our mind, words, and the body to the service of the Lord. Even though we are in this material world, we utilize. So that's real Krishna consciousness. That's the real realization. That's the real, the way that we can connect with Krishna. So we should be always conscious of. That's called Saranagati. That's called surrenderness. So when we do that, when we surrender, when we are fully devoted to Krishna, then naturally it comes that anything which comes, the material comes, we just reject it or we just not so happy with it. We will completely free from it. Naturally it happens. So like that, naturally it happens. The milk and, the water. So as soon as it takes to the mouth of a swan, it naturally happens because of that gift. So we develop that power so that we can we stay away from, so it won't touch us. So it won't even touch us, anything that which, even though we are in this material world, engaging in so many material activities, but doesn't affect us. So that's the key. That's the secret of all this. That's why, when we practice sadhana, by the process of sadhana, then we can come to that stage. And immediately anything comes, mind itself rejects it. No, this is not, needed. This is not needed. This is not needed. So we'll be always situated in that our Krishna consciousness or pure consciousness of the Lord. That's called the purity. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for bringing that example. It's so nice.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Class is very nice as usual, very mesmerizing. So my realization is, even if all humans are eligible for Krishna's,
Of
what do you
course.
say? even if we deviated in the consciousness for a moment, he make us realize and he bring us back.
Yes.
So, but that one moment of realization is very important. So he
Yes,
then
yes.
thinks us eligible for
Yep.
his presence in our life. And then slowly, gradually, he comes. And when we try to move away, maybe even if in this birth, he'll make sure that we pay for whatever wrong we did, but ultimately he will come
Oh,
and
yes.
take
Okay.
us.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that's what it is. We have to pay what we, that's our karma, right? That we have to pay for it.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that Krishna was completely, kind of forgiven us, or what is called just gave
He's
up.
just
Yeah,
punishing us, yes.
yeah.
So it's
Just
okay. I
gave
mean,
up.
he's not punishing. We are
It's not
just
punishing. It's mercy, actually. So this is the way we realize, we understand, we recognize our mistake, and now we can come back and then see that, yeah, I made a mistake. Now I need to
he's
focus
the
more.
one who's making us realize that we made
Realize.
a mistake.
Yes,
So
yes, yes. That's
that
where
is wonderful.
that
Yeah.
comes from the the sincere and the pure and the mercy. That's all. Also, when there is a mercy of devotee and mercy of Krishna, and then it's all comes to that level of purity and understanding, and recognizing the mistakes. And slowly, Krishna put, it's the Bhagavad Gita says, if one puts one step, Krishna takes 100 steps towards that devotee, towards that.
Yeah.
This is Krishna's promise. The Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is telling God. All we need to do is have our sincere faith in the Supreme, then pray to Krishna that please engage me in your service. That's another meaning of chanting Hare Krishna. Oh Lord, Srimati Radharani, please engage me in the service of Krishna. When we chant this, and this is a pray, it's like a baby cries to the mother. Like that we cry, we pray to the Supreme and Supreme Potency of Srimati Radharani. Please engage me in your service. When we have this in our consciousness, definitely that will manifest, and we can develop our loving relationship with Krishna. And this way we can make our life, perfect. And the purpose of the life will become fulfilled in this lifetime. Thank you. Thank you, Madaji, for such a nice realization.
Yes, Prabhuji. So see, I started associating, and I didn't even dream that I'd go to Vrindavan or anything.
Yes.
And it just happened. So
Yeah.
thank you,
Yes.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Even one was so fortunate. The people are so fortunate. Even little bit, either go to Vrindavan, take up this holy name, chant the holy name, associate with the devotees, engage in the service, initiation, and serving Guru and Krishna. What a great fortune! What is really guaranteeing is that our, the progress and our, guarantee that we attain Krishna. This is the guarantee. This is the sign of it. Unless one has this mercy of Krishna, that cannot progress in Krishna consciousness. This is a sign of it, that Krishna is merciful towards us, so that we can develop this Krishna consciousness, and we can attain our spiritual, spiritually being with Krishna eternally in his abode. Yeah, this is Krishna's mercy only, nothing else.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai. Thank you so much. Anything else? Anybody else? Padma Mukhi Mataji. So Susmita, I'm not sure who is Susmita is joining first time or joined first time. Okay, so let's go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for the wonderful class, and especially these Bhagavatam classes are so important because we are not able to have any other association in any other way, and hearing Krishna Katha like this is like such a fortune. Thank you for that so much. And one thing I learned today was like, the importance of devotee association to get to Krishna first. Like Narada Muni's incident with Nalkuver and Manigrave was like I mean, we'll hear this every time. These things are so like we hear them again and again, but every time it is new, Prabhuji. There is like something to learn every time from Bhagavatam, and I think that is the glory of Krishna Katha. It never happens with anything material like that.
Yes. It's fully powerful, fully spiritual, and it reveals so much of knowledge. And as Krishna, Krishna is full of knowledge, full of potency and eternity. Just by hearing the pastimes of Krishna, it's so wonderful. Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay, so we have Satyabham Mata,
Prabhuji.
Niru
It
Mataji.
increases the love for Krishna also. It
It
also increases the love for
the love.
Krishna.
That's why hearing is so important. Unless and until we hear, so it's the love manifests when we hear about the glories. So that's love itself. Hearing is love itself to Krishna. So this manifests in the form, in a very personification. The love manifests in the personified form in our heart. That is Krishna. So then, we tied Krishna in our heart, like how Mother Yashoda tied Krishna to a mortar. We tie Krishna in our heart with that love. Krishna will go further, and Krishna stays there in our heart. This is where, when person leaves this body, Krishna is there. Krishna takes that devotee back to him. That's what it is. So sometimes people ask, sometimes, when a person goes to coma or unconscious at the time of death, even if a devotee, anything like happens, how is a person is able to remember Krishna at the time of death? We don't need to remember. Krishna would make sure that the devotee remembers. Krishna would come to that point naturally. See that? Krishna would come to that front of devotee. Even in unconscious state, even in coma state, Krishna comes in front of the devotee. The devotee immediately see Krishna, remembers Krishna. But on the other people, it's very difficult for such people, those who are not practiced, to remember Krishna at the time of death. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you
Hare
so much for wonderful class as usual. Yeah, we should not forget our dear Srila Prabhupada. Because of him, we got everything, right? We had his parents' day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really, we can't pay Srila Prabhupada even how many bus we had to take for that. What we got because of him, right? We came to know about Krishna earlier when we were in India. We were thinking like Krishna is just God, right? Everybody is praying like demigods, right? But because of Srila Prabhupada, our Goswamis and our Parampara, really we came to know the real truth, absolute truth. And like we are learning how to live life, material life also, and how to, we are learning how to die.
Yeah.
It's really amazing. We are very fortunate, Prabhuji.
We are very fortunate. Yes, by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, yes.
We have, nice congregation. Each devotee is so unique in our congregation. Wherever we go, last time we went to Canada, like long weekend, and we went to Toronto Temple. Even devotee, we just see devotees. Maybe we see first time, but devotees are totally different. We can make it's really amazing. Wherever we go, we see devotee. It's really blessed. I can say just blessed.
Thank you. Seeing the devotee itself gives a lot of happiness in the heart.
Yeah, when we see that people, we don't feel that much. If we go to other temples, sometimes we go to Balaji temple, so we don't get that bad. But when we see our ISKCON devotees with tilak and kantimala, I don't know, that connection is there.
Yeah.
Krishna brings together, and we don't feel also, right? We met first time. So
yes.
Really amazing.
Yeah, this is because of Krishna is there in the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Krishna is there in the heart, that we can see immediately. See the devotees. It's unique. It's mesmerizing. It's like a magnet, how it is attracted to an iron. Similarly, we naturally attract to that.
Yeah.
This is the power, the potency of that. Purity, that's what it is. Purity makes that difference. Purity is like, when sunlight is there, then there is no darkness. This create the darkness, like that. The purity is there, then that purifies everything else as well. Even that's even little bit of association of a devotee, even sitting near to that devotee can purify us. So that purity, flowing, that purity flows to our heart, then our hearts gets purified. Then we see everything. Then we can see that all this greatness of everything. Otherwise, we don't see greatness in anything. We see always, so, yeah.
Very true, Prabhuji. Yeah, other people, they think like, oh, ISKCON, they don't eat garlic onion, no non-veg, no alcohol. They have so many restrictions. But nowadays, I'm feeling every day we have Utsav. Every day we are enjoying material life. Like, see, like our prasadam. So amazing, right?
Yeah.
Also, so nice prasad. We ask puja, we get so much prasad. Every day Utsav at home also, right? So, means they think they are living life like they are not enjoying, they think, but we are enjoying more. I feel.
We are having the prasadam from the Goloka Vrindavan.
Yeah, different taste. Yeah.
Different taste. It's exquisite cuisine,
Yeah.
from Goloka Vrindavan. Prasadam, which is cooked by Srimad Radharani. It's a different taste.
And they have specific time festivals, but in our life, everyday festival.
Yes,
even we meet at the temple, that is also our festival.
Yes. It's tremendous joy, it's tremendous happiness, tremendous contentment, fulfillment. And, this is, sometimes we feel that if we miss some days, we feel that, it's like if,
We didn't meet. Yeah. One Sunday, if we miss, next Sunday we feel like, oh, so many years passed.
Not only that, even I feel that when I miss one Sunday, it's like I'm like, fish out of water, like
Very true, Prabhuji.
yeah, that means uneasiness and that we are missing, and
Means it's a big loss. We feel
big
like
loss,
big,
yeah. Yep. It's
yeah.
all
Thank you so much for association, Prabhuji. So we really appreciate your efforts always.
yeah. Thank you all for wonderfully participating and with such a spirit. And this word it is Krishna consciousness means that relishing the Krishna, the name of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna, and that eagerness to absorb this is exhibiting and showing that how much love we have for Krishna. That is most important. So this is all wonderful symptoms and symptoms of making progress in Krishna consciousness, that consistency and keep hearing and eagerness, enthusiasm and absorbing and relishing. This is the symptoms of your progressing in Krishna consciousness. Continue to do that and pray every day that Krishna, please shower your mercy upon us so that we can keep engaged in your service. Please give us that opportunity to serve you and your devotees. That should be our prayer every day. And we are always should be indebted to Srila Prabhupada, and we pray to Srila Prabhupada every day that please engage us in your service. Please take me. As Srila Prabhupada is the Senapati Bhakta, the commander-in-chief. He directs.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else? Anybody else? Okay. I don't know who is this Susmita Mataji. Is joined first time or yeah. Okay. So thank you so much, dear devotees. Let's conclude today's session, and happy Ekadashi, and be more conscious and engaged and don't put our mind to so many these material things. Rather, focus and always absorb these pastimes of Krishna, and everything else is just polluting our mind. That's it. But the moment we take up Krishna in our mind, it gives such a bliss and such a potency, such a happiness, and such a way that We should chant the holy name and put some effort. We have to put ourselves. That's called endeavor comes from. We should put some endeavor for it. So when we put that endeavor, that's where really Krishna sees our sincere efforts. So hearing and chanting and, hearing, listening Krishna Katha, meditating about the pastimes of the Lord rather than bringing so many worldly things in our mind. Think about Krishna. Oh, think about, okay, what can I do today in the service? What can I do today when I come to temple? What can I say when I meet a temple? Think about devotees. Think about Krishna in such a way that think about the service. There are so many things we can think. Okay, tomorrow, what can I plan? Okay, tomorrow morning I'll do this. I remember this. So rather than bringing so many mundane things in our mind, bring that all these thoughts of devotees and thoughts of Krishna. So this way we can train our mind, and eventually what happens? These all mundane things, as soon as it comes, our mind start to reject it. No. This is we soul practice, abhyasa yoga. You can ask Krishna is abhyasa practice. So this way we can completely situate in Krishna consciousness as always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna in such a way that we can practice. Okay. Thank you so much. Let's conclude today's session. Vancha kalpatarubhasya kripa sindubhya evacha padidanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Adira Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanda Godi Vaishnavrinda ki jai. Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.